What is going on, guys? It's the Mad Dragon. It's a Monday, which of course means we're going to be checking out the world rankings to see what shifted up due to those games on the weekend. Rugby Championship starting strong. I love the Rugby Championship, man. It can just flip from any predictions you think. They can go completely out the window. Of course, then we'll move on to the actual predictions. Your guys' predictions, my predictions, see how we all got on with some big results this weekend. And then finishing, of course, with the fantasy, going through Team of the Week. What was the best possible team you guys could have gone for? All that good stuff. Let's jump in then with the world rankings, which sees us have a new number one, I think for the first time since we had the World Cup, right? Because South Africa have sat pretty at the top since 2023. New Zealand climb one on that 92.51 because they went up by that 0.45 after getting the win away in Argentina. Ireland also leapfrog one even though they didn't play, mainly because that loss for South Africa sees them lose 3 points. Ooh. Down into third place on 89.78. So pretty close in with Ireland at the minute, but New Zealand now bit of daylight out there in that number one spot. Australia taking those 3 points away from South Africa sees them go to 85, which now means they've got quite a bit of daylight from Argentina in seventh on that 81.6, also losing their points from that loss to New Zealand. Don't know if there was anything else going on in the world of the Rugby World Rankings. Looked like there was no other games going on this weekend elsewhere in the world, mainly just that Rugby Championship to talk about. But man, oh man, did not go the way I expected. Let's move on then to the predictions for this one. Normally when I'm doing the weekends, I'm on the Super Bru, I'm checking my fantasy scores, I'm checking the predictions. I enjoy just keeping track of it as the games go on. As soon as this game started flipping on a dime, I was like, put the phone down, don't check it. I just want to wait and see what it ends up being because I have not looked at this because this one caught me off guard. 20 minutes in, 22-0. I went for South Africa by 18. I thought, I've not even gone high enough. It's all going wrong. South Africa look like they're on top of this. Australia just can't find their feet in this game. I was like, man, it's going to be a bit more of a whitewash. I thought it would be able to stay close. 38 unanswered points. I don't actually know if that's ever been done against like a South Africa team playing at home. That's such a ridiculous achievement for this Wallabies team. Who, honestly, when we saw the Lions, I spoke quite a lot over the Lions tour, but when we did these videos on the Monday, saying how I didn't feel like the Lions were hitting top gear. I felt like they were kind of coasting in third, fourth gear. They weren't really getting to the top notch, and Australia was sort of keeping within score. It's like, I don't feel like the Lions are dominating where they could be. Australia have got the chance to take over, but they can't quite get there. South Africa were just breezing past Italy for fun. I was like, man, I feel like this one could be a bit of a stomping, but man, oh man, Australia, how well did they do in that second half? And I look forward to see, because if you saw here, 2% of people went for Australia on Super Bru. I can't wait to see if anyone in our group went for Australia. Everyone going for South Africa, which, was your odds-on favourite going in there. Did anyone go for Australia? Nobody went for Australia. This might be the first time this has ever happened. We've got 50-odd people in the predictor for the Rugby Championship. Not a single person got it right. Incredible game by Australia to come back in that one. Next game then, Argentina versus New Zealand. This one is it's griped me the wrong way. New Zealand take this one eventually by 17. I went for 11, meaning I'm 1 point outside of my half bonus point from this game. Thought it was going to end very, very tight, and then New Zealand just do the driving maul thing. I've spoken quite a lot in the history of this channel about how I really do think that the driving mauls are overpowered, and once one team figures out we can just get a penalty off every driving maul or a score, they only do that, and that's exactly what they did. And they kept dominating it, and Argentina have no answers. It's the game. It's the modern rugby way. Find something the opposition can't deal with, and just do it repeatedly. I do find it boring though. Just personally, as a viewer of sport, nothing against New Zealand specifically. Just any team. just sticking with the maul thing, I thought it was such a fun game. The last 10 minutes I found very boring because it was just they just couldn't do anything against the maul. And at that point, it's a bit of a walkover. But yeah, 1 point out for me stealing that. Get a little half point. A few people went for Argentina, and I saw a few people in the poll section. If you went onto the community tab before this game, a few people went for Argentina and said they're like an underdog coming into this Rugby Championship, but one to look out for. So not surprised a lot of people went for Argentina, actually. Where did you want to be then? Your predictions down here. Exaquias, Metalomaniac, Villafaro. There's some names we said across the Lions tour. All three of you guys getting it bang on with New Zealand by 17. Quite a few people getting that half bonus point. It was between that 2-3 try score. You can get quite a lot of the half bonus points in there, but congratulations to you three. Quite an easy round to discover them because nobody got that first game, which means Metalomaniac, Villafaro, Exaquias, all three of you guys joint top on everything the same. The TDM only different because of what you guys picked for the South Africa-Australia game, which means Metalomaniac still steps out just about into that number 1 spot. And then, of course, the leaderboard is exactly the same as it was there. Metalomaniac takes the gold cap on the TDM. All three of you guys drawing on the points. I didn't do very well at all. Then I think I only came away with 1 point from this one. Yeah, quite a lot of people probably only came away with 1 point as well. Can't believe nobody went for Australia. That is unusual. 55 people. I think everyone is joining in with the Rugby Championship because it's a tournament I've really grown to enjoy from 5 years ago, knowing nothing about it, to being like, I can't wait for the Rugby Championship because big results do come in for the Rugby Championship, and it's so much fun to watch. On to the Fantasy League then. Some big, you can see the big red blocks across the way. That was your back row is doing very well. But Team of the Week, once again, coming over from the guys over at Super Bru. I love when they do these things. Makes me not have to go through and find everything. But we'll check them on screen. This is the best possible team you guys could have gone for over the course of the weekend. So your best props, in fact, it was an all New Zealand lockout front row. Ethan de Groot and Fletcher Newell were your best props you could have gone for on 9.5 and 11.5 respectively. I didn't even look at New Zealand props myself. I went for Vivas. Got his yellow card. Great move by me. Samsoni Tokiaho, your best hooker. 2 tries, came on from the bench. Again, didn't even think about it. Second half, hookers coming on. I went for Malcolm Marks, but Taukiyao getting there on 19 points. Very, very big score. I've seen a few people there. You could see in the green bar is your hookers. You can't really quite see them, so I'm not sure if anyone actually went for Taukiyao in there. Your best lock department of the round, Nick Frost and Eben Etzebeth. Who got 10.5 and 11 respectively. So 21.5 was the best you could have done. I can see there that is Brandon actually got 21.5. Well done to Brandon. Someone else got more points there, but obviously must have used their captain in there. Did have both of these players in my preliminary team. Dropped Nick Frost out because I wanted to put Tupovai in. I thought, oh, a 4th back rower. Ooh, that could be a good point. Nope, wrong decision by me. Silly by me. In your back row then, in your red block here, some big points to get away with this one. Peter Steph-Tutoy getting in there in 3rd place on 16.5. Adi Sarvea on 21. And then another player that I dropped from my preliminary team, Harry Wilson, getting over for his 2 tries. I had him in originally and thought, actually, I think South Africa is the wrong team to have him in for. I think I'll put him in for Argentina. I think that's where Harry Wilson... Well, stupid me. Came away with 26 and would have been 52 if you'd made him captain. You can might just be able to see that Pia Azevedo got in there with the 80 points from your back row as big scores in there. Your best scrum half of the round in the sort of orangey brown colour was Cortez Ratimer on 16. Oh, the fly half. The fly half's going to be a painful one for me. Thomas Albornoz on 27.5 if you made him kicker. This is another one. I've had a terrible fantasy. I'm not going to lie. It's been awful for me at the starting round. Who, again, in my preliminary team, because I originally wanted a New Zealand fly half, but I wasn't sure who would kick. I assumed Bowden Barrett would kick, but Geordie Barrett's there as well. Could also take over the kicks. They might do longer range kicks. And I was sort of 50-50. Damien McKenzie to come off the bench. And I was like, oh, there's a few too many variables, and I don't like that, so I'm not going to go for the New Zealand kicker. James O'Connor, yeah, I'm not sure how many points I'll get against South Africa. Don't want to go for him. So I'm down to Albornoz or Marnie Libok. I don't know where Argentina are going to be at. I wanted to put Albornoz on, but at least, I was like, at least Marnie Libok is going to get points. At least he's going to get some points. South Africa are definitely going to score. He'll definitely have opportunities to kick. Well, I think I went for the wrong choice because Marnie Libok, I think, was the worst scoring fly round. And I dropped Albornoz. Screw me. Once again. Your centre partnership I was nowhere near on. Andre Esterhazen scored 19. Joseph Suoli came in on 13.5. 2 I didn't even consider for myself. And then your back 3, Max Jorgensen with that incredible individual piece of work out on the wing, getting his try on 21 points. Tom Wright on the big counter-attack scored him 25.5. And Severis on 17.52 tries for him from New Zealand as well. So big scores, my backs really let me down in this one. Just my own decisions let me down really across the board. But let's see how the rest of you guys got on. Much better than me, no doubt. Coming in first place then, Grobler comes in on a 195.5, sorry, in that first place. That's a good score. I think the possible best was like 200, I think it was like 230. So 195.5 is very, very good. Kev comes in on second place on 189. Johnny in third place on 186. Xander comes in on 185 in fourth place. Very, very close between you guys. Finn the Russell Hustle on 182.5 in fifth place. PR Azevedo with that giant red block on 181.5. Brandon comes in on 180 in seventh place. Clansman on 179.5. Scottish Squid on 179 for ninth place. And to seal out our top 10, Arvan Score, I'm going to hopefully get that name pronounced, is on 177 for 10th. Very, very close, actually, between sort of 10th and 5th. Actually, only a couple points separating you two. It's just Grobler's away on this one. What a great opening round for you. We'll have a scroll down so everyone can see their name. I didn't do brilliantly. 157.5, not great from me. Like I said, a couple of those initial team, I like to build a team, and then over the course of like the evening I'll sort of go through and refine it and think a little bit more about it. And normally those decisions that I make after the fact are terrible, and I shouldn't do it. I should just stick with my initial gut. I did have an issue, actually, to be fair, with my very initial team that I put out. I had a problem with the budget. I was over budget, so actually I had to make some changes, but yeah, came back to it to bite me. But obviously because the round and the leaderboard is the same, because it's the first round. We'll take a look at Grobler's team, see what he came in with. And actually, you know, there's a couple of big points there. Andre stays with that 19 is a good pick. Albornoz is my kicker. That's going to annoy me. I got rid of him. I also went for Arends. Arnie Salvera on the 21. Peter Steph made Peter Steph your captain. That's not a bad move at all, actually. Got you 33. Pollard was pretty good on 9. You know, getting that sort of 9-10 points averaging across players is really good. And then you got a couple of big hitters in there. Very, very good. Yeah, but the Australian backs, I actually don't know if that many people went for the Australian backs. Finn the Russell Hustle actually got the biggest grey bar. Let's have a quick look at Finn the Russell to see if he went for some... went for the Tom Wright and Suoli. Really backed Australia, actually. That's nice to see. I honestly was so adamant that I thought South Africa were going to dominate that game. I didn't really back Australia for a lot of those positions. But yeah, Nick Frost was a good pick in there. Prisma Wright actually only got 10.5. I actually thought he might have scored a little bit better than that. But yeah, 25.5 from there, 23 from Will Jordan. Some good back scores for you. And there we have it, guys. Congratulations to our winners of the round. Of course, we're back for the rematches next week. So we got South Africa back up against Australia, which I'm really looking for. A couple of people already got picks going in. People have already made that decision. Might want to rethink that maybe if you've made that, you know, ahead of time after last week's game. A lot to think about there. And then Argentina versus New Zealand once again. Will that be a double down for New Zealand? Could Argentina come back for that one? I may have to lean back into my my fly half decision making there. But then now that I know that Bowden is kicking for New Zealand, unless Damien McKenzie starts at 10 or something, I might be leaning back in towards Bowden Barrett and thinking about the kicks and what have you. We're gonna be some reconsiderations for that one. Thank you to everyone who has joined in with the predictor and the fantasy this week. Let me know in the comment section your thoughts on the games themselves, where you ended up, what was the best decision you made in the fantasy, what was the worst decision. I love that one. My personal worst one was going for Vivas with his yellow card. That was my worst one, but I made some silly decisions by dropping a couple of other people who ended up scoring much better, but you can't know that ahead of time. That was probably my worst one. Drop it down in the comment section your own. I enjoy having a read through them. I'll see you all next time, guys. Bye-bye.